Goodbye, Catherine. I'll send back half my pay and Dad's insurance will hold out until I get back. I'll be back. I promise. Goodbye, Karen. I love you. America, you're like a sweetheart to me. A great summer festival. Billowing skirts, golden epaulettes, millions and millions cheering from the sidewalks. Four trainloads of us that morning. A terrible crowd at the station. The whole place, the cars, the station, even the locomotives were draped in bunting. And children and women mostly carried little flags waving vaguely, vacantly. Three bands all playing at once, lots of officers herding people around. The mayor was giving a speech, and all the people are laughing and crying and drunk and losing each other. My mother, my sister. Karen, here, look, I've come home, I'm back, I'm here. Karen, just like you remember me that day at the station waving goodbye. It's me, Karen. I'm thinking of you. I can see you just like I never left. Just like I never left. Just like I never... God damn, telephone ringing somewhere. Ringing too loud. Answer the goddamn phone, someone. Oh, that is one hell of a hangover you got there, Joe. Doesn't feel like any hangover you've ever had. You're sick, real sick, faint, choked. Make them stop the ringing, make them answer the phone. Why is it so far away? Sweat's pouring out of me. Hot, wet. They're all over me. Bandages wrapped from head to toe. My God, I'm hurt bad. Pounding like it's going to burst. Harder and harder beating. Oh God, I'm deaf. Hit hard. So hard, can't hear my own heartbeat. Stone deaf. Joe. Stone cold deaf. What's that you said? Speak up, I ain't hearing so well. Hell, ain't that bad, Joe? Lots of things you don't want to hear anymore. Machine gun fire, whistle to 75 coming down fast, yells at the guy trying to tell you he's got a bullet in his belly. Nothing to kick up your heels about. Might be worse, right? But I can hear. I can hear. I can hear! Mother! You, Mother, humming in the kitchen. I can see you singing and working over the coal-burning stove. Stirring apple butter in a big crock, the thick bubbling and snapping of the kindling. Baking bread, sliding the pan onto the table, the pan creaking and popping as it cools, working in the fall from day to day, week to week, scarcely coming out of the kitchen, canning peaches and cherries, jellies and jams and preserves and chili sauces. And you worked and sang. You said the prettiest sound was the first big snowfall. I can never hear anything, but you always said, just listen. I can hear it. I can see it. It's a wet snow clinging to everything it touches. The wire fences around the chicken coops in the backyard are holding a cap of snow maybe half an inch high. The chickens are puzzled by it all. They're walking carefully in it. And the roosters are talking about it complainingly. The outbuildings are beautiful. The fence post has a cap 4 inches high, and birds in the vacant lot are making little patterns in the snow that are once in a while crossed up by a rabbit track. I'm going to get into my heavy clothes and my boots and my mackinaw and my sheepskin gloves, and I'm going out with the rest of the kids. I'm not coming back till my feet are numb and my nose is frosty. People around me, they're working on me, Karen. I'm in a bed. The bandages, they're coming off. I can feel the coolness, sudden drying of sweat, sharp pinch, something cold, metal grabbing, getting a bit of my skin each grab. Why are they pinching me? Sharp tearing the flesh of my upper arm, point of heat like friction, hot. It hurts, itches, something's wrong. And feel inside my arm. No. I can feel through the end of my arm. Jesus Christ, they've cut off my arm! Cut it off right at the shoulder. Oh my God, the dirty bastards. Why would you do a thing like that? Gotta have a paper signed or something. It's the law. I have to work with that arm. Why would you? How am I going to work now? Didn't think of that, did you? Just another guy with a hole in his arm. Let's cut it off. What do you say, boys? Takes a lot of time and money to fix a guy's arm, and this is war, and war is hell, and what the hell, and so the hell with it. My left arm! What have you done with it? Send it to a hospital so guys can pick it apart and see how an arm works. Wrap it up in an old newspaper and throw it in a junk heap. Take it outside and bury it. And say a prayer. You should, because it's human flesh and it died young and it deserves a good send-off. My ring. There was a ring on my finger. What have you done with it? Karen gave it to me and I want it back. I can wear it on my other hand. You have the arm. Isn't that enough? Karen, they've taken it. The ring, you remember. I gave it to you and you gave it back to me just before I left. Mother gave it to me. It's real moonstone. You can wear it. So small, Karen. Healthy and beautiful, so beautiful. We shouldn't have the lights out. Your old man will be sore. No, don't cry, Karen. Please don't cry. Lots of people come back. Just please don't cry. I've never been with anyone like this before. Put your arms around me, Karen. Both of them. You in my arms, Karen in my arms, both of them. Oh, Jesus, Mother of God. Karen, they've cut off both my arms. Head and chest like dead weights. Legs, light as a feather. Feels like they've got something under me at the hips. Head and chest are too heavy. I feel faint. Prop me up a little. Mother, they've done it. They've cut off both my legs. Hurry, Mother, hurry and wake me up. I'm down here in the darkness having a nightmare. Floating on a backwash of the Colorado River, wandering through Shale City, willows near the edge and sweet clover, hot sunshine on my face. My back and stomach are cool from water that was once snow in the mountains not too long ago. Floating, not going anywhere, just letting the river take care of things. Me, alone in the river, water washing over my eyes and nose and mouth, drowning. Must raise nose out of water, head too heavy, can't come up, can't move, sinking, no! Can hear, but can't hear at all, scream out, but can't, no jaws, tried to work them, no tongue to test, no tongue to brush my teeth against, no teeth, no roof of mouth, no mouth, couldn't swallow, no muscles left, couldn't swim and drowned. I'm breathing. No nose. Air in my chest from somewhere. Can feel it all now. Pain stops where there's nothing. Nerves can feel the hole like snakes crawling up and 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 up. Too high. My God, too high to have any eyes in it. A dream. Sweet God, it's a dream. Can't live like that. A person would be dead in that condition, and I'm not dead, so I'm not in that condition, just dreaming. Hurry and wake me up, I'm having a nightmare. Mother, where are you? I'm down here, Mother, here in the darkness. Rock-a-bye, baby. Now I lay me down to sleep. When the wind blows, sing to me, rub me, bathe me, comb my hair, wash out my eyes, play with my toes, clap my hands together, kiss me, help me. So quiet. Still. Lights are gone. Pinwheels. Pain. Blood throbbing in my brain. Swelling. Contracting, but peaceful. At least I can think now. At least that. How could I have come through it alive? Damn you. Damn you. Damn you. A nice clean slice of a shell that somehow missed my jugular and spine, right? They get you quickly enough so you don't bleed to death. They can save you from anything. Got to me quickly enough. Pick him up quickly. Haul him to the base hospital. Roll up your sleeves. Rub your hands together. Say, let's see what we can do, boys. A toe here. A wrist there. Oh, what the hell. Let's just cut it off at the joint. You doctors are getting pretty smart. Aren't many guys you can point to and say, here is our triumph. Here is the last word. Here is the greatest thing we ever did, and we did plenty. A man with no arms, legs, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, who breathes and eats and is just as alive as you or me. There's one thing you can't do. You can shove a guy back into the womb, but you can't get him out. I'm here, fellas, here. And not about to be left along to die, because that would be murder. And a stump can't kill itself. He's got no way to flop over. Shove a tube through some vital organ. I'm here forever. Forever. Got that forever! A lot of funny things happen in this man's war. Read about yourself in the paper and you'd hardly believe it, Joe. This is my life now. Every day, every hour, every minute, every second until I go crazy. Jesus, Joe, that's all you got. Your mind, your thoughts, your memories. Can't lose that. You'll be less than nothing. Don't let yourself go crazy. Don't! 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 5 is 20. Karen! Oh, Karen, please, Karen. I need you. I need you. Take my hand, Karen. Remember that night before I left? You and me laying on your sofa, and that shadow fell across us, and it was your old man. Stop that, goddamn you, stop that. I'll have none of that in my house. You said, but he's going away in the morning. I know, girl, I know. It was a long time, not knowing what to do. And then he said, get into that bedroom. And he looked at you, and he looked at me, and he didn't say anything else for the longest time. Then, maybe you never get another chance. Go in there, boy. She's scared. Go in there and put your arms around her. You know how to treat her, don't you? She's no whore. I climbed into bed beside you, and that little puff of air came up from the clean covers, and I smelled your clean, clean flesh and soap in the sheets, and you whirled over to me and put your arms around me and held me tight, and... What is it? Take it off! Stop it! Over my face, cloth tied, square piece of cloth tied securely, pulled down to my throat. Ugh. So the nurse in her comings and goings won't vomit at the sight of her patient. Ah! 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 All the muscles of my body, power of my brain can't budge it. 20 years old, can't even summon the power to turn over in bed. If I could do that, I could kill myself. No such luck. Think, damn it, think! Lie and lay. Now I lay me down to sleep. I lay these flowers on the table. I lie them on the table. I lie down to sleep. He laid down for 3 hours. I lay this book down. Lie this book down. What the hell? Put the book down and be done with it. Think of something. Anything. Go forward. Start somewhere. Trains? No. Clouds. Rivers. The big ditch north of town? Yes, that's it. The pavilion. The music coming through the summer nights. The songs all had meanings and the words were very serious. Summer nights, me and Bill Harper and Glenn Hogan and the guys would lie back and talk about very important things. We'd talk about girls, about taking them on dates to the pavilion, and we wore brogue shoes and shirts with red and green stripes in them. Glenn Hogan had 7 silk shirts. He had most of the girls, too. Then we talk about something else and light up a cigarette. It was quite a thing to light up a cigarette. You only did it at night when no one was watching, and you made a very serious business of holding the cigarette in the properly careless fashion. And the first guy in the bunch to inhale was the greatest guy on earth. Glenn Hogan and the guys. Bill Harper. Diane. Karen, do you remember me telling about that summer on the section gang? I never told you the real reason I went. The real reason was Diane. Oh, of course, that was way before I met you. I used to think that girls were a terrible thing. They were all untrue and selfish, and they just tried to smash a guy, and you just had to expect it from them, or at least from Diane. Joe Bond. Had you been a fool back then? Were you really that moonstruck that you out and joined a section gang for the entire summer vacation to lay some stinking railroad just because of Diane? Oh, yes. Diane, you weren't worth it. You couldn't have been worth it. No one on earth could have been worth so much pain. Except maybe a guy's mother. See, Bill Harper told me he'd seen Diane and Glenn Hogan going out. Bill was my best friend, Karen, but I called him a liar and hit him and knocked him down. Getting up off the floor, he said he'd run into Diane and Glenn going into the Elysium Theater. I knew he was telling the truth. So I decided to forget it all and go into the desert and work like a man and forget about it. There I was, Karen, in that infernal desert sun, sweating, hurting with the pick in my hands, exhausted. When I started thinking to myself, Joe, it is awfully silly for me to be way out here forgetting it all, while nobody suffered but you. And that just leaves Glenn and Diane back in Shale City to go out as much as they wanted to. For me to be way out here slaving my best years away on some section gang, it's just as if Diane had suddenly decided to become a washerwoman to spite me, which she would not do. Well, Joe, it's plenty easy to run into the desert, work like a man, and forget about it. But how do I get back without feeling foolish? I have to do it. For Diane's sake. Just because Glenn has a good-looking car, he thinks he can take advantages of a girl the ordinary guy wouldn't even think about. It's more or less my duty to see Diane. Talk to her, like a brother. Tell her about Glenn. I have to do it, even at the expense of my own pride. I was packing on that gravel train before anyone could ask where the fire was. On the train, I thought. Afterwards, I'd I'd go over to Bill's and say, let's forget about it. Bill was too good a friend to lose over Diane. Dropped off the train a little after 11 o'clock. Suddenly felt good and realized I was on Diane Street. There she is, on the front steps, with her arms around someone and someone's arms around her. They're kissing. He's letting her go. She's running up the steps. He's turning, coming down the walk. He's whistling. Wait. He's turning back. Starlight on his face. Bill Harper. Goodbye, Diane. Goodbye. People ask, how come we never see you and Diane around anymore? Nothing I could say. They said, what's the matter with you and Bill? We don't see you two around much anymore. Nothing I could say. My dad asked, how come you out and joined a section gang for the entire summer vacation, stayed only one day? Nothing I could say. That was the first time I ever cried over a girl. I laid there in bed, bawled like a kid. My hands were sore and bloody. My legs were tired, and I was sick at heart. It's a helpless feeling, Karen. One you think you'll never get over. Oh my God! There's something crawling up my side. Can feel feet, little feet, claws, sharp claws. No, God, can't be. Hair, fur, tail, a rat. My left side crawling, sniffing, tearing at my bandage, whiskers tickling, edge of draining wound. My God, nothing I can do. Eating, sharp little teeth, biting, chewing, digging in feet, scooping out more flesh hurts, chewing. Where's the nurse? For Christ's sake, somebody take this rat off me. See him hanging there. Somebody! Nurse's hands on my body. My flesh so smooth, so warm. A dream. Rat had been a dream. I can feel the nurse's hands and they're real. Dear God, they're very, very real. A child awakened from a dream to find itself safe and snug in its mother's arms. No need to worry, no need to think, no need to struggle. New bandages. Fresh linen, fresh, cool linen. It might come again. The rat dream. I have to find a way out of that dream when it comes. You stop nightmares by yelling so loud you wake yourself up. Or you think yourself out of them. Joe, this is just a dream. Open your eyes and the dream is gone. I can't yell. I can't even open my eyes. Better figure out some way quick to prove whether you're awake or asleep. Start at the beginning. I'm awake now. I'm sure of it. I felt the nurse's hands and they were real. I'm still awake because I'm thinking about the rat dream. The minute you start to feel sleepy, like you're just about to topple off, just stiffen yourself up and say, Joe, we are not going to have any dreams about rats. Sure. Right. How are you even going to know when you start to feel sleepy? Get tired all day from working and you relax in bed and you're asleep. Your eyes burn a little, you yawn and stretch. Your eyelids drop. My eyes don't burn. I can't yawn. I have no eyelids. I might be slipping in and out of sleep every 5 minutes. When I was a little kid, I used to daydream, and the entire time I was awake. Jesus, Joe, you're in an awful mess. Maybe there isn't a way. Maybe for the rest of my life, I will have to guess whether I'm awake or asleep. I've got to know. I've got to. I have a mind left by God. That is all. It's the only thing I have, so I must use it. I must think. Every minute I'm awake until I'm tireder than I've ever been before. David Copperfield. David Copperfield had a tough go of it and was apprenticed to Mr. Micawber, who believed everything would turn out well. There was Aunt Dorothy or something like that, and David ran away to her. His mother was gentle and had brown eyes. Barkis was willing, and father was... Father, you died so long ago. I'm glad you never lived to see me like this, because I couldn't stand that. I never got the chance to tell you. I was too young to know what a good, honest man you were. I used to think you were a failure because we had no money. But you kept us together and we ate good food, fine food, better food than people eat in the cities. They couldn't get vegetables as fresh or meat as well cured. No amount of money could buy that. We didn't have much time together. Just those fishing trips up on Grand Mesa. One summer night, I was 15 and Bill Harper was coming up the next morning. You sat on the other side of the fire and I watched you and wondered how I was going to tell you that tomorrow, for the first time in all our trips together, I wanted to go fishing with someone else. You had always preferred my company to that of other men, and I had always preferred your company to that of the guys. Bill Harper's coming up tomorrow, and I thought maybe I'd go fishing with him. Bill doesn't know very much about fishing, and I do, so I thought maybe I'd get up early and meet Bill, and he and I will go fishing. For a little while, you didn't say anything. Then you said, "Bill Harper got a rod? Why don't you take my rod and let Bill use yours? I don't feel like fishing tomorrow and I think I'll rest all day. You use my rod and let Bill use yours." As simple as that, and yet it was a great thing. Your rod was very valuable, perhaps the only extravagance you'd had in your whole life. It had those amber leaders and beautiful silk windings. 6 o'clock, Bill whispered to me through the tent flap. I got up and gave him my rod and took yours, and we went out without waking you. We were in the rowboat all day, trolling with spinners, both lines out. We were feeling kind of dreamy because we'd had such a wonderful time all day. And then that fish struck that whirring sound, and the rod leapt out of the boat and into the water. We made wild grabs for it. Too late. Beached the boat, cleaned the fish, and I left Bill. It was no use waiting until the morning. I had to tell you the truth. Dad, we lost your rod. We got a quick strike, and before we knew it, the rod was out of the boat and into the water. We hunted for it and fished for it with our oars, but we didn't get it. So it's lost. It seemed like maybe 5 minutes before you made a sound. You rolled over in bed, and I felt your arm against my chest, its warm, comforting pressure. Well, we shouldn't let a little thing like a fishing rod spoil our last trip together. Should we? There was nothing else to say. You've known all along that was our last trip together. From then on, I'd go fishing with guys like Bill and Glenn and the rest, and you come up with other men. Lying there, beside you, with the two of us jackknifed together in that way we slept best, with your arms around me. Father, I blink back tears. You and me, we lost everything. Six times 6 is 36. 36 times 36 is 576. 576 times 576 is... Hell, that's no good. That's as far as I can go. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness' sake, for they shall do something or another. I can't remember. There are 8 planets. There's Earth, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, Mercury. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 more. I don't know. Hell, the trouble is I don't know anything. Why hadn't they taught me something in school I could remember? Here I am with nothing to do but think. And I've got nothing to fall back on. Concentrate. Think of something, anything. Go forward. Start somewhere. Start at the beginning. Start at the beginning. Start at the beginning. Childhood. No, further. Birth. Before birth. Creation. Before creation. Space. Blackness. Empty. Lonely. The very beginning. Time. The very first man who began to think was thinking of time. They studied the stars and figured out the week and month and year, and they had a way of measuring time. It's the only real thing. It's everything. No matter how far you are from someone, if you have an idea of time, you're in the same world as them. You're a part of them. But if you lose time, then the others go on ahead. And you're left alone, hanging in the air. If I could keep track of time, I could get a hold of myself and keep myself in the world. The Count of Monte Cristo in that dungeon down there, he kept a record of time. Robinson Crusoe was very careful to keep track of time, and he never had any appointments. All I know is that one day in September in 1918, time stopped. There was a howl somewhere, and I dived into that dugout, and things blotted out, and I lost time. I could have been unconscious for 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, who could tell? Who knows how much time I lost with all the faintings and dreamings, and if I count the seconds to the minute, and then I add the minutes in one part of my brain while I counted seconds and minutes until the minutes in an hour, and then I add the hours in another part of my brain while I counted seconds and minutes, and then I would go crazy in exactly 1 hour and 15 minutes. No! I don't need to know seconds and minutes, or even hours. All I need to know are days. And series of days, days and series of days, days and The only part of me that's normal, that's exactly as it should be, and that's not covered up, is the skin on the sides of my neck, from the cover line to my ears, and the half of my forehead above the mask. So what do you do with that skin, Joe, my boy? Well, you feel with it, of course, but you also sweat with it. And when you sweat, you're cooled by air blowing over skin, heat and cold. Joe, my boy, day and night, sunset and sunrise. It's so simple. When the temperature changes from cool to warm, I will know it's sunrise and the beginning of day. Then, I count the number of nurses' visits until the next sunrise. I'll have the number of visits in 24 hours. And I will forever afterward be able to tell time. Oh, what if I'm running a temperature? Maybe sweating from too much excitement. Maybe give yourself a chance. Now, think of what happens in the mornings in a hospital and try to figure out what follows that. In the mornings, the nurses get their heavy work done. That means I'm bathed and my bedclothes are changed. That's my starting point. The bath and bedding change happens on an average of, oh, Jesus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, just about 1 in every 12 visits. Now, I've got to assume. Maybe my bedding is changed every day, but I don't think so, because that would make the nurse visit me every 2 hours, and there's so little work for her to do. Why would she come that often? If she changes my bedding every 2 days, she would come into my room 6 times a day. That would be once every 4 hours. The simplest schedule for her to keep would be 8, 12, 4, 8, 12, 4. If she changes my bedding in the morning, that would be 8 o'clock. Not bad. Now, I should be able to check on the morning, because in the morning everything is cool and almost the first flash of sunlight brings about some kind of change in heat. The nurse's 6th visit will be somewhere around 4 in the morning, just before sunrise. So after the 6th visit, Joe, my boy, you will stay awake and concentrate every bit of mind and skin on the job of catching the temperature change. If it works, then all you'll have to do is count 6 more visits, plus 1 more to see if there's another sunrise. If there is, then you'll have the number of visits in 24 hours and a way of setting up a calendar. Catch 2 sunrises in a row, and you've caught up with the world. Now, what you do is lie back, very calm, very peaceful, and you wait. Nurse's feet vibrating against the floor. Her hands on me, rolling me over to my side, held there, washing me, rolled back between cool, crisp sheets, vibrations as she walks from place to place in the room, receding. Sharp little tremor of the door. I'm alone. Her heavy work. It's morning, the first visit. Calm down. Calm down. You haven't proven anything just yet. Just calm down, lie back, and count 6 more visits. Door opening, closed. Nurse coming towards me, adjusting the tubes in my stomach, going away, door closing. The 2nd visit, 12 noon. Third visit, walking to the other side of the room, opening another door, must be a closet. Walking back, stopping, leaving, closing the door. 4 in the afternoon. Door opening, coming towards me, fluffing my pillow, something cool wet against my forehead, taken away, mask adjusted, leaving, gone. 8 o'clock at night, 2 more visits to go. Nurse coming straight towards me, touching the tube in my throat, patting me on my forehead, going away, closing the door. Efficient. Midnight. It's here. The 6th visit, 4 in the morning. I hope. Nurse's feet vibrating against the floor. Nothing. Still nothing. She's probably looking at me. She's leaving quickly. Now, concentrate. Don't let your mind wander for 1 second. Not for 1 second. Like being born again into the world. Time standing perfectly still just to spite me. Sweat's pouring out of me. Pieces of skin on my neck and forehead tingling as if they've been paralyzed and now getting a fresh supply of blood like pores on my neck reaching out to grab at the change, to suck it in so slow, so gradual. My God, it's happening. I can feel it. Sheltered in a hospital room as far away as possible from the changes in temperature, but it's coming. In a blaze of heat, seared, burned, scorched by the heat of the rising sun, it's penetrated my room. I've captured time. It's dawn. All across the country, the sun is rising in the east and people are getting out of bed and hills are turning pink and the birds are singing. The first bright rays of the morning sun coming over the high mountains of Colorado and the east colors coming down their side. The little town where I was born, where I live. All the rooftops rosy with dawn. I can see inside houses where men are getting up and yawning and scratching their chests and groping for their house slippers before finally getting up and going into the kitchen where their wives have hotcakes and sausages and coffee waiting for them. I can see babies squirming in their cribs, rubbing their eyes and smiling and crying and maybe smelling a little bit bad, but looking awfully healthy as they greet the dawn. Thank you, God. I have seen the dawn, and I will see it every morning from now on. I will create a calendar in which the sun and moon and seasons have no place. I will make this universe and organize it to my liking. Outside, it might be the 4th of July for all I care. I name the days of the week, Monday through Sunday. Each Sunday afternoon, I'll go through some woods that were just outside of Paris. Once in the springtime, when I was on leave care and I walked through them. So now every Sunday afternoon can be springtime. When July comes around and the trout are biting, I'll go up on Grand Mesa and talk things over with Father. And each summer week, in and out, I will go to sleep with you, Karen, whispering to you, God bless you, Karen. Darling, God bless you. Day nurse. Smooth, slick hands. Little hard like the hands of a woman who's worked a long while. Middle-aged, gray hair. Comes to my bed in 4 firm steps. My bed must be about 10 feet from the door. Footsteps are heavier than the night nurse. Must be a large woman. Has a brisk way of doing things. Flip and I'm on my side. Whoosh and the sheet is laid next to me. Flop and I'm on my back. Swipe, swipe and I'm bathed. She knows her business, this day nurse, and I like her. I squirm to let her know I'm glad to see her. She pats me on my stomach, runs her hand through my hair. When a new nurse comes, I always know what she'll do first. She'll make no movement for a minute or two, and I know she's looking at me and probably getting a little bit sick. One of them turned and ran out the room. Another one cried. I felt her tears on my chest. I imagined her young and beautiful. Like you, Karen. Something's happening. Nurse is giving me a fresh change of linen. I received one just yesterday. Spraying me with something. Sprays cool and misty against my skin. Clean nightshirt. New mask arranged very fussily, falling to my throat, tucked under the fold of my bed covers. She's combing my hair. Gone. What a luxurious feeling to be so completely redone. I must be glowing. My sheets feel cool and crisp, and my scalp feels clean. I don't want to move. I might spoil the good feeling. Footsteps. Heavier than the day nurse. 4 or 5 men coming into my room toward my bed, stopping. 4 or 5 men gathered around my bed, more people than ever before, staring down at me. Doctors come to examine me. I must be pretty famous by now, and they're starting to make their pilgrimages. See what a good job we did. See where the eyes came out and the nose came off. See how we were able to do it. And he still lives. Stop by my office on the way out, and I'll give you one of his teeth for a souvenir. Man's hand folding back the covers. 1 fold, 2 folds, hand against my forehead. Someone pinching a portion of my nightshirt as if taking a piece between their thumb and forefinger. Weighted down by something cold and hard like a piece of metal against my chest, over my heart. They've pinned a medal on me. 4 or 5 big guys, famous guys who still had their arms and legs have come into my room and pinned a medal on me. They could afford to. How many generals ever got killed in war? Sudden, fierce, surging desire for them to see me, to see the hole in my head. Footsteps against the floor, running out of my room. Footsteps, smashing, banging, bouncing, slapping, rapping, pounding, pounding out of my room. So I guess I wasn't so totally helpless after all. Footsteps, running, banging, bouncing, slapping, pounding, rapping, tapping. Tapping. Foot against the floor is one kind of vibration. Tap of a telegraph key is another kind. Bill Harper and I had a telegraph set. We talked. Dot, dash, Morse code. I'll talk. dash, and 2 dots. The letter D. Dot, 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 dash, dash, dot, 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 SOS. Help. Nurse, standing beside me, looking down, wondering, her hand against my forehead, stroking my forehead in slow, gentle motions, pressure against my forehead, heavier and heavier, tireder and tireder. Nurse trying to soothe me, calm me like an irritable patient. Change in her touch. Pity. No! I won't let you feel sorry for me! I won't let you! Ah! Sting like a needle. Giving me drugs. Trying to shut me up. Plotting against me down here. Can't break through. Can't stop my mind, you bastards! Can't stop my thoughts! Damn you! Damn you! Damn you! Who are these people, Karen? Don't they know who I am? What I've done down here? I'm an American down here! Oh God. Oh God, maybe they don't know I'm an American. Maybe they... blast strong enough to tear off my arms and legs would have blown all identification to hell and gone. Only way they would have of knowing where I was from was where they found me. Pretty sure they found me among Englishmen, stationed alongside a Limey regiment, went over the top together, Americans and Limeys diving into that dugout, seeing only 2 Americans. Rest Limeys. A flash. I thought blackness. Don't go back there. Don't let them send you back there. No. You don't want to be here. Run, Joe! Oh, Joe, what in the hell are you doing here? You've come too far, Joe. Gotta get out. Gotta need someone, anyone to help. Huey! God damn you, you limey bastard! It's me, Joe Bonham. Oh man, Huey, am I glad I found you. Oh, buddy, help me out. Like you used to. Tell me some of your funny stories. Remember? We'd tell stories when things got rough or was boring as hell. Stories to get away from it all. Remember old Lazarus? That big fat Hun stumbling out of the fort like he was drunk toward the British lines. It was dull that morning. We were all sore and cold and uncomfortable about the war, so somebody took a shot at him for no reason. Hell, he was probably just lost. Poor guy stood stock still, peering through the fog like he was surprised anybody'd want to shoot him. Even as he sagged, he had that hurt, puzzled look, and we let him hang out there with his arm hung over the wire like sentry, pointing the way for somebody else. Remember how when the wind was right, we could smell him? Ooh-wee! And that damn colonel came through with his mustache waxed and bony nose high in the air, sniffing. That's a very strong odor, he said to Corporal Timlin. Timlin said, he's Bavarian, sir. They always smell worse. Bad for morale. Take a burial squad out and bury him. Timlin looked around to see who was grinning so he'd know who to take out on that squad. And the next day the shells started falling and one happened to hit Lazarus and he leapt through the air like a slow motion picture landing high on that wire, with his finger pointing at us like a stool pigeon. That colonel came through again, getting a strong flavor of Lazarus, telling Timlin to take a full burial squad out, bury the Hun 6 feet deep, and read him the full service of the Church of England. Middle of service, flares go up, and somebody gets a bead on Timlin and shoots him right smack in the bottom. God have mercy on their souls, amen! Meet for cover men, the bloody bastards have shot me in the arse! That other shell hitting through Lazarus high onto that wire again. sheets flapping in the wind, pieces of him dripping to the ground. We opened fire on him. Shot him off! Couldn't see him, but could still smell him. Forget him! Why'd we shoot him in the first place? Huey? If we'd let him alone out there, none of it would have happened. That colonel wouldn't have come through getting a strong flavor of Lazarus telling Timlin to have somebody check on that wire. You wouldn't have said, sure, I'll do it. Maybe I'll catch me some Huns and be a hero. Huey, you stupid, stupid kid. Why'd you let them do it to you? That place wasn't any of our business. You didn't have to prove anything. What the hell were you doing out there? Why'd you go out there that night? And why'd you go past the line of barbed wire? That's where they found you. Lying on your stomach in a pool of vomit where you'd fallen and stuck your right arm clean up to the shoulder through Lazarus. You were crying. You'd gone crazy and they had to take you away, you poor, stupid English kid not wanting to be thought a coward, and now you're locked away somewhere just like me. That night all I could think about was you, Huey. Crying and screaming like a baby. Crying and babbling like a baby. So loud I didn't even hear that shell coming down on me in that dugout. And where are the brass bands now? You and me, Huey. You, me, and Lazarus. They drugged all of us. Jesus, Joe. Here you are lying like a side of beef all the rest of your life, and for what? Somebody tapped you on the shoulder and said, come along, son, we're going to war. No, yes, or no, or I'll think it over. Somebody just said, let's go fight for liberty. And those that went got killed without ever once thinking of liberty. If there could be a next time, I'd say, Mister, my life's important to me. If I'm going to swap my life for liberty, I've got to know in advance exactly what liberty is, whose idea of liberty we're talking about, and just how much of that liberty we're going to have when it's all done. Mister, you owe me that much in this deal, because I like the liberty I have to walk and hear and eat and sleep with my girl. Always seems the same people willing to sacrifice somebody else's life. It's time two people had a say in things. Us little guys and the dead. What do the dead say? Any of them ever come back and say, I died for decency? And that's better than being alive. The man who says death before dishonor is either a fool or a liar because he doesn't know what death is. I do. I am the nearest thing to a dead man on earth. Those kids didn't die thinking of decency. They died crying in their minds like babies. They died whispering for the voice of a father, a mother, a wife, a child. They died moaning and sighing for life. I want to live. I want to live. I want to live. Nothing is bigger than life. Nothing! Footsteps. Lighter than my regular nurse. Younger. Buoyant. A new day nurse. Throwing my covers back, her hand against my forehead, standing very quietly. This new nurse, this nurse with a light, happy step, isn't afraid. Opening my nightshirt, moving her index finger against the skin of my chest, not traveling aimlessly. A pattern, over and over, a design that has no curves, straight lines and angles, straight line moving up, then down at an angle, then up at an angle, then down. Stopped. Repeated. Tracing the letter M. E. R. R. Y. C. H. R. I. S. T. M. And A. And S. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas! It's Christmas, and someone has broken through, and I'm no longer alone. Karen, it's like a great light in the midst of darkness. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas! I've been taken back into the world. This nurse has thought of a way to speak to me. She'll pay attention when I try to speak to her, very carefully, very slowly, to show her there's a method to what I'm doing. Urine will slip next to me so that I'll recognize it. Urinal taken away, bedpan placed beneath me. Blanket off, then back on, and another on top, patting my bandage, lifting my nightshirt, rubbing my body, smoothing my hair, scratching my scalp, loosening the cord, holding the mask, lifting the mask, replacing the bandage, stopping. This nurse has tried everything she can think of. And now she's standing very quietly as if to say, it's your turn now. Try hard and tell me, and I'll try hard to understand. Only living thing in the world is my head as it taps against my pillow. It's now or never. Finger against my forehead, tapping 4 times against my forehead, hand placed reassuringly against my forehead, rapidly receding vibrations of her footsteps. She got it. Oh, thank you, God. She got it. She got it. The door. Vibrations of footsteps, lighter ones. The nurses. Others heavier. A man's. Finger out of nowhere, tapping. What do you want? An ice cream cone? A good book? Dancing lessons? The bed's a little firm? Bring me a glass of water. The coffee you've been pouring into my veins needs more sugar? You stupid bastards! I want what you take for granted. Eyes to see with, a nose to smell the faint perfume that hangs in the air when a girl's pass by, a mouth to kiss, arms and legs to be and work like a man, like a living thing. I also want what you can give me. I want out. Out of this bed and away from this empty room, doing something, anything. I could do something. I could be an educational exhibit. People wouldn't learn much about anatomy from me, but they'd learn all there is to know about war. The difference between a war in newspapers and Liberty Bond drives and a war fought out lonesomely in the mud somewhere. A war between a man and a high explosive shell. Take off my nightshirt, build a glass case for me, and take me to where people are on the lookout for freakish things. I'm the alive man that's dead. I'm the dead man that's alive. Take me to where parliaments and congresses and chambers of statesmen are meeting. I want to be there when they talk about honor and justice and the 14 points and self-determinations of peoples. Let them form blocks and alliances and mutual assistance pacts and guarantees of neutrality. Let them draft notes and ultimatums and protests and accusations. Before they start killing each other, let the main guy rap his gavel down on my case and say, "Here, gentlemen, is the only issue brought before this house. And that is, are you for this thing here or against it?" Please, let me out. That's what I want. To feel part of mankind. And feel fresh air and sense people around me. Please, let me out of here. Finger against my forehead. What you ask is against regulations. Who are you? They want to forget me. I'm on their conscience. They've abandoned me. These people don't want me, Karen. They don't want to hear me. Why? I'm alive, Karen. I'm not one of the dead. Why don't they want me to be free? Why don't they want me to be seen? The war must be over by now. No war could last this long, killing so many people. There aren't enough people to kill. Why? 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 They're frightened of me. I'm back from the battlefield. As I am, so shall you be. Already they are looking ahead, and they are figuring out the future, and somewhere in that future they see war. And to fight that war, they will need men, and men who see the future will not fight. They would ask questions, and they would find answers, and they would say to the guys in charge, "You lying, thieving sons of bitches, we won't fight. We won't be dead, we will live. We are the world. We are what makes it go round. We make bread and cloth. We are immortal. We are the sources of life. We are the lowly, despicable, ugly people of the world. We are the great wonderful, beautiful people of the world, and we are sick of it. We are utterly weary of it. We are done with it forever and ever because we are the living and we will not be destroyed. I won't let them do it. I won't let them win. I will not. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 7 is